Make some noise and welcome to the stage, the man, the myth, the incredibly, really good looking Jamie Campbell Bella. Oh, I also forgot, hey Jamie, the first ever inaugural Tauranga guest celebrity axe throwing champion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were just throwing axes and arrows at each other. That was fun. Morning, everyone. How are you? Yeah? Thank you so much for having me, and thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here as well. It would be a shit Q&A if there was nobody here, so I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Rightio. Well, I mean, if it was just you and I, we'd just have a chat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Throw axes at each other.
Well, no, not the axes, just the arrows.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, we also won the arrow competition too.
That's true.
They
Yeah, we
claimed
did.
It was a draw.
Yeah, you can give us a clap. Thank you.
Okay, we will direct you to our long line of questions and let's kick off.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. I was wondering what you thought of Will's haircut.
Will Byers' haircut. I mean, look, I was born in 1988. The bowl cut is not something that's foreign to me at all, let's be honest. I mean, you know, bless him. I know what that feels like going into a hairdresser and coming out with something like that, so I hope he's all right internally. That's fine. If he's into it, I'm into it. What do you think of it?
I thought it was very interesting.
That's very diplomatic of you. Thank you for that. Morning, how are you?
Wonderful. With all the traveling that you've been doing and the flights
Yeah.
and how long they've been, what do you do on the flights to like kill time?
Eat lots of food. Eat so much food. I feel like I've seen every film on every airline recently, so I don't really watch movies anymore. Started to read a bit more on flights, but I tend to sleep. In fact, I did something really strange on the way here. I opened the window at night and just looked out at the stars, and that felt really weird. Like, I've never really done that on a flight before, and to do that and to realize that I'm in the sky closer to the stars felt very, very strange. So maybe I'll be doing that more. But yeah, sleep, eat, and annoy the air stewards and stewardesses. Yeah.
Well, sorry, just a quick question, because you flew all the way from Oregon just to be here for this panel.
Yes.
What did you do on the long flight?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh. Well, luckily enough, from the flight from Honolulu to New Zealand, it wasn't overbooked, so we were able to kind of lay out on the chairs and sleep. But on the flight from Oregon to Honolulu, it was kind of jam-packed, so I had to have that tray down, and so I had to like literally sleep like this on the tray.
There's a travel pillow for that you can just put your head in. It sort of looks a bit like a toilet, so if you want to get one of those, I recommend it. Sorry.
Yeah, my neck got a little messed up. But.
Yeah. Nice to see you though today. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Hi, my name is Sage.
Hi, Sage.
Hope you're enjoying your stay so far.
I'm having a blast, thank you.
Wonderful. My question is, out of everyone you have ever acted as, who do you relate to the most and why?
I think, so when I first started working, I was very, very young. And it was all just very exciting, you know, and I just was like, oh my God, I'm really enjoying this. And sort of the idea of process wasn't something that I really kind of considered. And then when I started getting into my sort of mid-20s, I really took the idea of process a lot more seriously. And so would kind of dig around in literature or would dig around inside of myself to find more things from me that I could use in characters. So with that in mind, I think from the age of about 25, 26 onwards, there's always a bit of me in every character that I play. I heard something that Margot Robbie said the other day about her sort of building backstory for her character, so if there's something that they do that she doesn't necessarily understand, she knows where that comes from. And I do that too, but in my own way. I sort of build the story and then I attach personal experience or personal emotion to it. So any character really from the age of about 25, there's always been a bit of me in it, you know. I love Henry and I love Juan, and I really dug around inside of myself to find things in that I related to. So that's obviously very much on the mind at the moment. Yeah, any of them from about that age, if that makes sense.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sage. Have a lovely day. And you look fantastic, by the way. Awesome. You're welcome.
Hey Jamie, I hope you enjoyed surfing the other day.
I did yesterday morning. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Oh no, the day before. Yeah, when I went for a hike. Nice
Yeah.
to see you, by the way. Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Everyone was talking about how it must have liked it. Hopefully it was the good waves.
Where we hiked down to, there was no waves, but then in the evening, I managed to get down to the beach and catch a few waves down there. So yeah, it was good.
Okay, my question is about Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
How was it working alongside Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter? Because it's always intrigued, like I've heard quite a few people wondering how it was because you were so young at the time and they were such, well they are still such big people in the industry.
They were so sweet. Like I say that with no BS. Like Johnny made me feel so at home on that set. And that's something that I think is so important with creating anything, you know, is to make people feel like they're safe in that environment when you're creating something. And I remember the first day that I got onto set, there was this huge, we were stood on that boat, it was the opening scene from the movie with Johnny and myself, and we're stood on this boat in the middle of Pinewood Studios, and there's this ginormous fan in front of us kind of blowing our hair, and Johnny just looked at me and he was like, "Hey Jamie, that's your biggest fan." And I know it's cheesy and a dad joke, but it just made me feel really safe and really comfortable. So that was really sweet. And Helena's great, you know, she's so energetic and she's just her own sort of tornado, which is lovely to be around as well. And then Tim, you know, Tim in general, just like, I mean, I loved his movies growing up and I love his films now, and to be on set with him, and he draws a lot in his book, and I hadn't actually heard anybody else talk about this until Jenna Ortega started speaking about it with Wednesday, and she said the same thing, and I was like, oh thank God that wasn't like a figment of my imagination, like that really did happen. So yeah, he's quite introverted and kind of, he's his own person. Someone asked me about him yesterday, and what I love about him and what I love about creative people is when they create their own universe that they feel really happy in and really comfortable in, and they just live in that, and that's what he does. And yeah, it was just such a mental experience because I was just 18, but one I hold very dear to my heart.
Yeah, I think that the whole introvert thing with Tim is why he makes such great creations, is because he can be in his own little bubble and just think about it rather than focusing on everyone else.
Exactly.
Whereas the rest of us are worried about society and he just doesn't care.
Yeah, and if you look at his work from when he was working at Disney, like his cartoon work that he does, like a lot of that is very like allegorical for how he was feeling at the time. I think it's Stain Boy and Oyster Boy, I think, as well, and like there's these characters in those books that are sort of like breathing down these characters' necks and telling them what to do, and that's Tim. Tim is the sort of the small person in that, sort of saying no, I want to live my own life, and I think it's just beautiful. It's really cool. Yeah.
He's kind of just a ignore the haters, do my own thing type person.
Hell yeah.
But thank you for that. That was a very good answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Morning.
Morning, my name's Sophie.
Hi Sophie, I remember you. How are you? How's your mum?
Yeah, good. There she is.
Oh, hello.
My question is, if you could collaborate with any other musician dead or alive, who would it be?
Nick Cave.
Okay.
Nick Cave, 100%. Or Tom Waits, or the Staple Singers, but Nick Cave really springs to mind. I mean, I think I watched the last Andrew Dominic movie that he did with Nick about making the last record. Oh no, it's just a sort of performance video actually, but it sort of shows a little bit of the process with Warren and Nick working together, and Warren's just there like making fucking crazy sounds and Nick's just kind of speaking, and I think I'd love to be in that space with those two. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. What's that in your hand?
I've got it for you if you allowed to.
Thank you so much. Is that a balloon version of Henry? I'm obsessed. I love this. Did you make this? Oh my God, bless your mum. Thank you so much.
Oh!
Is that the sweetest thing you've ever seen in your life? Wouldn't hurt a fly. Thank you, Damien.
And my question was, what was your favourite scene to film in the Twilight saga?
Oh, Lord above. Oh, do you know what? The second film that we made, the second film that was made, the first one that I was in, New Moon, myself, Michael Sheen, and Christopher Haredale spent so much time in that sort of like Volturi kind of cave thing, you know, in our 3 chairs. And Chris and I didn't have much to do, like, you know, we're sort of soft focus and saying a line every now and again. So we ended up being quite naughty together, and there's Latin inscriptions all the way around the top, and we would try and translate it and make a false translation about what it would say, and it tended to be quite crude and quite rude. So that was quite enjoyable. And then the last movie itself, you know, Breaking Dawn Part 2, we spent, you know, months in this crazy like cattle selling arena, and I remember one day the good guys sort of came up with this dance that they do opposite us, and we had no idea, and it was all on camera, and we just stood there looking at them being like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is going on? So that was quite fun. But the whole experience was great. You know, there were by the end of the last film, there were 72 or so named and numbered cast on the sheet for the day, and most of us were staying in the same hotel, so you can imagine what that would be like. Chaotic at best. So yeah, it was good fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, hi Jamie.
Good morning, how are you? Nice to see you.
Good, thank you, nice to see you again. It was so nice to meet you yesterday, and you were talking a lot about literature and stories and storytelling, and I was just wondering whether you had a favourite novel or any literature which has touched you.
Oh, so much. When I was about 15, I sort of discovered American mid-century novelists, and just a bit before, so someone like Jack Kerouac and On the Road for me was a really, like, I don't know, seminal book in my teenage years. Of course, we were diving into, you know, the usuals, Catcher in the Rye and Salinger's work and that stuff, but I think for me, like, Kerouac and the idea of traveling across America was something that really spoke to me. And I also love poetry, so I love Ted Hughes, and there's an English poet called Brian Patton as well. He has an amazing collection of poems called Love Poems, and it's all very tragic, and it's all sort of, the way he describes his love interests are like they're sort of these beautiful, fragile things with these broken wings, and how we all need to kind of look after one another, and it just moved me in a really powerful way. Yeah, those are probably my sort of like top three, and I'll always go back to them. Like, I'll always pick up On the Road, I'll always pick up Ted Hughes' Crow, and I'll always pick up Brian Patton Love Poems. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Good morning, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I missed out on my question yesterday, so I had all night to kind of try and come up with something a bit more, I don't know, profound. But I kept coming back to what I really want to know. When you're in the Vecna suit,
Yeah.
what happens if you get an itch?
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever broken a limb?
Yes, knitting needle?
Ruler.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a relief. I'm glad that you had. Or if you had to sneeze.
I never did have to sneeze, but now you said that, you've probably given me some sort of spell, which means that I
No,
might have to
sorry.
when I'm done. Urination was difficult, I'll tell you that much. That was a hard one. Yeah.
Mum said, I was telling my mum last night, and she was like, ask him how he went to the toilet. I said, I'm not going to ask him that, but you brought it up yourself.
Yeah,
so
I proffered the information freely to you, and I can only apologise on behalf of myself, and I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
I know now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, nice to see you.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi. Well, first of all, I'm from Indiana. So
The Hawkins legend yourself, thank you so much.
yeah. Who would win in a fight, you or Erica?
Oh, Erica, definitely. She would beat me down verbally so much that Vecna would have no choice but to just burst into tears and run away.
Like, she would cuss you out. She'd be like,
100%. She'd be like, why are you walking like that? You know, look at your stupid hands. Feels bad to hear.
I know. Yeah, I knew Erica would win, so thank you.
I'm glad, thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
This question is a bit weird, but why is Vecna so obsessed with clocks?
That's a really, really good question. And I think one that might be answered in season 5. I mean, I know that I saw something really interesting the other day that actually I hadn't picked up on, which is that the clock in the Rainbow Room, when Henry turns in episode 7 is showing the same time that we see the clock at when young Henry is staring at it prior to killing his parents. And Matt and Ross are so smart. They put these like little Easter eggs in the script, and they never tell us, and it's never in the script. And I've actually never asked them that question.
Yeah, like it's always the small details.
100%. I mean, I was like, when we were doing season 4, I was like really interested into, you know, because obviously Vecna is like sort of preys on people's weaknesses, and I know obviously Max is like a means to an end to get to 11. But I was like, well, why did she move to Hawkins? Like, what is the story there? Like, is there a secret that she is holding inside of her that he knows that we don't necessarily know? And also, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna just warble on for a minute. So 1 in the Greek alphabet is Alpha, and 11 in the Greek alphabet is Omega. And the literal translation of those two things are beginning and end. And I asked them about this, and I like went super deep into it, and I was like, did you mean to do this? And they were like, we can't tell you. And I was like, does that mean you did? Or like...
Surprise attack.
Exactly. So in answer to your question, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just obsessive compulsive disorder. But I'll look into that. I appreciate you for jogging my mind.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
You're smart. Thank you.
Hi,
good morning.
My name is Simone.
Hi, Simone.
And I was wondering, what do you want to happen to Vecna or 1 in season 5?
I want him to win.
Fair enough.
I want him to kill everyone and win. And go off with 11 and live happily on an island. Maybe the Isle of Wight in England. Maybe they'll live here. Who knows? It's a nice island here. Yeah, I'd like that. I'd really like that. I mean, I think, I've also said this before, I think I'd really like to see a sort of stronger build of the relationship between Will and Vecna. I think we have a lot of unanswered questions, particularly from season 1, knowing what we now know from season 4, that I think we can really kind of lean into. So I'm excited if that happens. That's going to be cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. My question was, if you could like go back, if there was anything you'd like to know before you got into acting about acting, like something you learned that you wish you knew before.
Oh my goodness, is there anything I wish I'd known before? When I did my first film, Sweeney Todd, we have these things called marks, and they're just X's on the floor, right? It's just where you have to stand. I literally had no idea what that meant. They were like, hit your mark, and I said, yeah, cool. What the fuck do you mean? I felt like such an idiot. And then, so when you're young and you're first starting out and you don't know how to hit a mark, they put these sausage things down, they're like sandbag things. And now if I see a sausage being pulled out for me, I'm like, I'm not hitting my mark, am I? They're like, nah, you just gotta feel it with your toe. So I wish I'd known that. But I don't really hold any sort of like regrets. I do feel fortunate enough that I have been able to kind of learn on the job, if that makes sense. Like I always had a burning passion and a desire to perform, and I've been very fortunate in the sense that like that happened very early for me, and I've been able to work with some real masters of the craft. So just purely by watching them, picking up on process that they have, and twisting that and turning that into my own thing, I find really powerful, and yeah, but there's nothing I sort of wish that I'd known, because otherwise it would be quite boring.
Sorry, that was really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the process. Let the process happen. That's something that I always remind myself of. Is like, just let the process happen. Let it come to you. It will come. Don't overthink. Open your heart up and let it just happen. Yeah, welcome.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, I'm Sophie.
Hi, Sophie. I'm Jamie.
I was just wondering, what's your favourite song you've ever released?
Oh my goodness. My favourite song I've ever released. I mean, something really special happened in that session with a song that I did called Paralysed, and it's all live. And myself and the cellist and the violinist had never played together before until that day. and something magical happened. We'd all done enough work beforehand that by the time we got into the room, we were able to, like I was just saying, open ourselves up to let whatever was coming through us come through us. And that's what ended up on the record. And there are mistakes in it, but the mistakes make it human, and I really just value that. So yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi. I was just wondering, I don't know if anyone's asked this before, but what's your favorite song at the moment?
My favorite song at the moment? God. There's this song by this sort of like young TikToker, so like not who I am, apart from in private, called Chronically Cautious. I don't know if you've heard it, but like it's really good. So like I just really like it. It's like 1.5 minutes long, and it's really cute, and it feels really real. Yeah, I mean that's sort of like something that I just kind of have on repeat at the moment. Oh, and also there's a record by a guy called Hardy called The Mockingbird and the Crow, and he's a country artist, and he's been writing for country music singers for a really long time, and he's just released this amazing record which is like half country, half quite like heavy active rock, and I really, really am into that at the moment. That's also really, really cool. That's kind of on repeat, but I have the classics that I'll go back to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to a young actor looking to find a film that they could act in?
I'll tell you what, like, so when I was a kid, I just loved performing, right? And I would do anything to create. And so I joined my local youth theatre, and I started just really loving the community of actors and writers and directors that were just in my small local town in the south coast of England. I then joined National Youth Theatre and National Youth Music Theatre, and I got to stretch my wings further and perform more. And through those sort of 3 things that I did, there would be casting agents that would come to them and see us, and you know, I would go for castings of things, none of which I ever got. But I just love to do what I love to do. So I think if the intention is pure, put your heart and soul into it and join the local youth theatre or join the local youth club, create your own things. I think now as well, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 13.
Amazing. So you're 13, which is like an incredible age to be, a difficult age to be at this time, but also an age where now, because of like things like YouTube and you know Instagram or whatever, you now have the opportunity to create your own world and for people to see that at any point in time. So you can make whatever's in your head and keep going at it and show people and keep releasing it. And over time it will get better. This is what I do with music. Like I just literally just keep going, just keep on going. And so you can draw people into your universe, and if your universe is pure and your universe is what you see in your head and you're not trying to sort of recreate anything other than what you imagine, then people will connect to it. So make and do. Don't wait for it to come to you. Be active in allowing it to happen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Good morning.
I was wondering, in Sweeney, Todd, what was your favourite scene to film?
Oh, I really like the scene where I pull the gun on the guy in the asylum. I mean, it's a position of power. So much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He doesn't like to leave.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Good. How are you?
I'm alright.
Yeah.
I just have a question, because a lot of us have our own like favourite shows we watch. Like a lot of us, obviously, Stranger Things and things like that. Like, what's your favourite? Like for me, my favourite comfort show, which I can just turn on, is Supernatural. All 10 seasons I can watch in like 2 days. That's me. And my favourite comfort movie is surprisingly Scream, the 1996, because I'm a 90s baby. But I would like to know, like, if you're open to saying, what's your film or TV show that you just put on in the background and be like, yeah, I could just listen to it?
I'm not saying this because I'm here, but Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yes!
hands down. What a world, right? Damn.
You know what I found on YouTube? On YouTube
We've made up the movies as well.
They've got like audio books, and like I found like a full Lord of the Rings like just audio book. I just put that on.
That's beautiful.
And it's like they do the voices and everything, and I'm like,
You know what else I love? Shrek. Shrek is awesome. I'll do the voice of Donkey when I'm watching that. That's fun.
That's one of the films where I can just like talk and like the film like quote it well. So also Harry Potter, like I can. My mum and dad tell me to shut up when we're watching it because like I'm just talking. Oh, yeah, you do. Shut up. Sorry.
Really Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, my name's Naomi.
Hi,
and
Naomi.
It's nice to officially finally meet you.
Nice.
I was supposed to meet you 3 years ago at London Comic Con, but you unfortunately cancelled.
Yeah.
So it's nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My question is, your music, if you weren't back in the film side of things, would you want to be a musician full time?
I think I just want to be creative no matter what. I'm constantly trying to create things, and there are lots of things that I create that I don't give out, you know, like I paint at home, take photographs all the time, I write. So I think, you know, if I wasn't acting, I would be pursuing acting anyway, you know, and I would be making music as well at the same time. Music's I think for me as an artist, where I'm at the moment is the idea that this is what I want to do forever. So there is no time constraint. So I'm not under pressure. I'm not putting pressure on myself to be like, oh, I have to make an album or I have to make this film. Like, I'm grateful for it, and I'm blessed enough to be able to have freedom of choice at the moment. And I think that's something for me as an artist that I really value, which is like, when it feels right, it feels right. You know, I would consider myself even now a full-time musician. I just don't put the things out that don't feel good and don't feel real to me, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Jamie.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I was just wondering, I know that you've just you haven't been here for long, but I was wondering what your favourite part of New Zealand is so far?
The beach.
The beach, yeah.
I mean, the countryside is just like the way this country looks is unlike anything I've ever seen before. You guys have the most insane fauna and flora that I've ever seen in my life. It's just beautiful. I went on a hike the other day and we're walking through these fields past all these beautiful cows, which I love cows. And it feels like it could be the countryside in England, and then all of a sudden as we're getting closer towards the coast and the cliff edge, it starts to feel like I could be in Indonesia. There's these incredible forest-like things that come out. So yeah, that's something that I've just been sort of blown away by. Oh, I've died. Oh no, I'm alive. That's been beautiful. And then, one of the most amazing things about sort of being able to travel and meet people is you get to really understand how a country works quite quickly, because you're in with lots of different people in a very contained environment. And what I've felt like here is you guys are so nice. You guys are so sweet, and I feel so calm here. And that's just beautiful. I really, really enjoy it here. You guys are amazing. So yeah, that's what I've loved.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Jamie.
Morning.
That was my sister Hannah. I'm Nadia.
Hi, Nadia.
Nice to meet you. My question was, because you just seem like the sweetest guy ever.
Not all the time.
What's your pet peeve? I want to know what annoys you.
There are many things. Excessive noise is something that I find really difficult to deal with. As a kid, I found it really hard to hear my parents chewing. And it's there's a name for it, and I don't know what. No, that's chewing itself. There's like a name for like having like the irritation of the noise. Misophonia, is that what it is? So yeah, so that kind of freaks me out, and like particularly if I'm trying to sort of focus and write, that really annoys me. I also don't deal well with like tittle-tattling and gossip. I don't dig gossip. It really just makes me feel really icky inside. Yeah, those are my sort of biggest pet peeves. Oh, that, and also leaving the car at like a quarter of a tank of gas. Who does that? That's straight to jail, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. It's Woody, right?
Juicy.
Oh, sorry, fuck. Straight to jail again.
I've got like 15 questions, but I'll leave it to just one.
Okay.
Can you do some voices of characters that you like?
No.
Donkey?
No, that's terrifying. No, God, no. No, pick another one.
What character or movie / TV show would you like to act in or be a part of the universe of?
That's nice. I mean, God, there are so many. I mean, I'd love to be in Lord of the Rings, as I just mentioned, because I love the show. Someone say something. What else would I like to do? I said yesterday Mindhunter would be an amazing show to be a part of. That would be really, really cool. Anything that Robert Eggers is making, I'd love to be a part of. And then Ty West is sort of doing a series of movies at the moment in the X universe, and so Pearl and X, and he's making another one at the moment called Hollywood with some X's in it. I'd love to be a part of that world as well. Anything that Ari Aster makes, I would love to be a part of. Yeah, that's. I could sit here for hours and talk about that, but yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jamie.
Good morning, how are you?
Good. My question was, if Vecna was to have a dating profile, what would his About Me be?
God.
Join me or I'll crumble you.
Single slimy male. Looking for tender loving care. Tentacles not required, but appreciated. Must enjoy the dark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's quite right. That was fucking awesome.
I managed to get this
Hello, how are you?
I'm curious for all actors. How do you feel about watching a movie you've been casted in behind the scenes? So like, you know how you have see all behind the scenes
Yeah.
and you watch the movie itself?
Yeah.
What's your impression of it?
It's something that I've worked on.
Yeah.
Interesting question. It varies. It really, really varies. So for something like Stranger Things, like obviously, you know, there are so many different storylines going on. And there's so much that I got excited about, like particularly all the cast that are in New Mexico with that massive gunfight that they did. I remember Joe Keery got sent a video by Charlie of it, and he showed it to me and was like, this is all one shot, you've got to check this out, it looks so sick. And I watched it, I was like, oh my God, that's just like raw footage and it looks amazing. So with Stranger Things, like I watch it and I feel like a fan. Like I'm just like, oh my God, this is really, really cool, it's really amazing. On a sort of like selfish level, I do like to check that kind of what I'm doing is working out, you know, in the story, and that I'm serving the need of the story. And also that I'm doing a good job. Like I just like to know that I'm not shit at what I do sometimes. But then there are other projects that like I'll watch and I'll be like, oh man, I wish we'd done that better. Like I wish that we kind of, you know, spent more time working on that or talking about it to get it to a position where like it can be really, really cool and it could be better than it was. And I tend to be my biggest critic, you know, so I do like to look at the things that I do, and I do like to sort of grow from those experiences and understand where I went wrong and what I can do better. I haven't ruined it for myself yet, though. I'm not like, when I watch movies now, like, I think I value the art probably more so now than I would do, because if there's like, going back to like Robert Eggers, like The Northman, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this incredible shot where the camera comes down, we're following the Skarsgård brother, and it comes down over the beach. He jumps into like sort of like it's like a stream, but it's like a sandy beach. He jumps into the stream, swims towards this Viking longboat. This is all one shot, and then jumps up onto the Viking longboat, and we end up in the longboat with the camera. Like, as somebody who loves making films, I watched that and I was like, holy God, that's an incredible piece of cinematography. So now I really, really like that, and I can really see when people are like pushing the boundaries of things, and I get really excited by it. But I haven't ruined it. I'm not watching things being like, well, that's fake and that's not real. He clearly wasn't dead. Like, yeah, you know. Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hello there.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's okay. I love it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say this is a very good piece of costume.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you make it?
No, I bought it from a dollar store actually.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I need to find this dollar store.
Okay, so which one of the Lord of the Rings trilogy do you like? Which film is your favorite?
One.
Oh, the first one.
The first one is amazing. I mean, Gandalf's entrance is obviously ridiculous. You know, he's there smoking his weed pipe, you know, being... And I've worked with Ian, so I know what he's like. I mean, you're literally watching Ian McKellen. It's fantastic. Yeah, I think for me, like, I love the whole universe, and I did read The Hobbit, you know, a long time ago when I was a kid. You know, I remember it looking like the size of some sort of like religious text. It was so big. But for me, like the Lord of the Rings series of movies, those three like are really just really cool and really special. But the first one, just because we're like thrown into this world, we're thrown into the universe, and everything I felt like I was watching when I was seeing that for the first time just made me feel like I was in it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's yours?
The last one. I just love how everything's wrapped up. It's so satisfying.
Is that the Two Towers? Is that what it's called?
Return of the King.
Return of the King.
Yeah.
There you go. Second one, sorry, idiot.
Yeah, I like to.
It's the second one, you bell end.
Yeah, I like the Two Towers. I like the Two Towers. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Good morning.
So, say that the casting crew decided that Vecna and one needed to be played by different people. Which one would you want to play?
Wow. Neither. I don't know. I mean, I love Henry and I love One and I loved building that. I thought that was really cool. But I did spend a long time building Vecna as well in the mind. So, I don't know. There's always a lot of fun dressing up in the prosthetics and scaring the hell out of kids, isn't there? So, yeah, maybe Vecna.
All right.
Thank you. Morning.
Hi.
How are you?
My question is about Camelot.
Crazy.
When you played Arthur, do you feel like Arthur's quite a different character to what you play now, and would you play that kind of character again?
I would definitely play that character again. I would definitely play a character like that again. I think also like knowing what I know now as a 34-year-old adult, I certainly know more now than I did when I was 19 years old, just swinging a sword around willy-nilly. But like, is he different to any of the other characters I play now? I think I've always been drawn to characters that have a journey and have an arc, and that show, I felt like for me, you know, from when we saw him, first of all, when he's, you know, sort of plucked out of obscurity and thrown into this position of power, to the very end of the season where, you know, he's alone and he's fighting on the he's fighting the barricades just by himself, and he sort of becomes more of a man, as it were. I use that in like, you know, loose quotation marks. So, you know, those characters, I've always enjoyed the journey of them. I think I definitely play it in a different way if I were to play it now. I'd probably center it a bit more. When I was younger, I was wild and chaotic, and I think now if I was to do it, I'd just be more precise with it. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Kia ora, Jamie. My name is Kai.
Hi, Kai.
I'm a primary school teacher, and I was wondering, is there any life advice that you would like to impart on the younger generation?
Oh, don't look at me. God, blimey.
Or like anything you've learned in your life that sort of helped you.
Oh, yeah, my God. I like this at the moment, like, don't let if you have an inability or like, you don't have the capacity for sadness, that will mean that your ability and your capacity for happiness is infinitely reduced. So, allow it all. Life is not always an upward trajectory, life is not always perfect, and sadness and those emotions that we deem to be negative, they're allowed to be there. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jamie.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm having a lovely time, by the way. I could sit here for hours if you guys. You're awesome.
So I've got a bit of a bone to pick with you. Like 9 or 10 years ago or so, you were doing your like Mortal Instruments like Q&As like this, and you sang a song called Waiting, and I really, really loved that song. It's a fantastic song, and you did it, I think, like an acoustic of it as well on some YouTube channel. But you never put it on like a streaming service. Would you ever do that? Because I want to listen to it. I want to pop it on my playlist.
Probably not, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I'm one of those weird artists that like will do something, put it somewhere obscure, and then just be like, there you go, that's it. You know, like, good luck. If you want to find it, you'll find it. I guess I would probably call it like internet droppings, which is fun. But no, I don't think I would. And I think also at that time, like, the idea of streaming services weren't really even around at that point, really. You know, we had MySpace, and I think we had a MySpace for a minute, but like, yeah, no, I wouldn't. I mean, even now there are songs that like I'll put like on YouTube that won't end up on Spotify. Just because I want to hand them over, just to kind of be able to move on. Yeah, hope that answers your question.
Fair enough. I'll just continue listening on YouTube.
There you go. Plus, it gives the nice people who recorded them, you know, advertising money. So there you go.
Kia ora, Jamie.
Hi.
This is wild. Oh my gosh. I've loved you since Sweeney, Todd. You set the standard for me. Like,
it's a pretty low bar. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, that says all about me. I just turned. I just want to say, I turned 21 on Monday and I make music. I was just wondering, as a fellow creative, do you have any advice or something you would have told your 21-year-old self?
Don't do drugs.
Oh, it's like...
Literally, stay away. Oh God. You keep going. It's that constant thing of keeping going, right? Like, I always wanted to do this. I would like to make things and to make art. And there have been times where it's been really, really tough, you know, where like I've been in really crappy situations, but I never gave up. And I think if I was to speak to any artist about that, like, I just say, keep going, because what you're doing is you're digging through the surface level to get to something that's really true and really pure. And in that will come the most beautiful, genuine, original art.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday as well for Monday. That's tomorrow. Bless you.
Oh, it was this Monday.
Oh, last Monday.
Yeah.
Oh God, happy birthday for last Monday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Morning.
Hello again.
Hello again.
So my friend Matt was the one that asked about the dating profile with Vecna.
Yes, Matt, love you. There you are, darling.
So it gave me an idea. If you had to choose out of any character, out of any of your movies, not meaning just you, any character at all, who would Vecna marry?
Christopher Marlowe. Probably. Yeah, Christopher Marlowe, but I can't imagine going out with me at all. I feel like my girlfriend every day needs a medal.
Because like it doesn't have to be one of your characters, just any of the characters in any of your shows.
Oh, right, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
told you I was selfish.
Sorry. Any of them. Interesting. Is there sort of like a really gooey monster that I've been near in any other show that I've been in? And maybe Mrs. Lovett. She's gooey. Mrs. Lovett.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we've got 7 minutes left.
Okay, I'll try and answer them quickly.
If you could.
Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Yep, hope you enjoyed the Tim Tams.
I love Tim Tams in general, and somebody taught me that trick yesterday as well, where you have to bite the corners off and suck it up. Tim Tams Slam, is that what it's called?
Yep, that's what it's called, yes.
Sick.
Yep, my question is, since you mentioned you love The Lord of the Rings and they've been talking about making a remake of it, like
Yeah.
the movies of it, who would you like to be cast if you got the chance to be offered of it? He's like,
Galadriel. Yeah. I think I could do a nice elf. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hello, mate.
G'day, how's it going?
I'm good. Were you here yesterday?
Yes.
With
just-
your Chucky doll?
Yeah, let's say for today.
It's a Sunday, I understand.
That's good. I got a lot of Freddy Krueger vibes from Vecna.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you would ever play him if they approached you with it.
Oh my God! I mean, I think what Robert Englund did, you know, with the original Freddy is just standout performance. I mean, it's a horror icon, right? So I'd be stepping into huge shoes. But yeah, of course, like if somebody was like, "Would you like to play Freddy Krueger?" I jump at it. I mean, I think realistically, like what would maybe excite me more would be to play Pinhead. I met Jamie Clayton recently, who just did the new version for Hulu. And I adore her, and I think she's amazing, and I loved, you know, what they did with casting her in the show, and the idea of having a sort of like female and male married Pinhead couple would be so sick. So yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be amazing. Thank you. Hi. Hi.
Just want to say you would make an amazing Pinhead, first of all.
Thank you.
So my question is, have you ever cried when you heard a song for the first time?
Yes.
And what was it?
The last song that I cried at was House in Nebraska by my now very dear friend Ethel Cain. I actually loved that song so much that secretly I sort of wrote a part 2 to send to her. I never did. But that was the last song I cried at. And then I think I also cried at American Teenager, which is on her debut album as Ethel Cain as well. 100%. Music can just like fucking cut us all so quickly. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, dear.
Hi, I'm just wondering, as a fellow creative, when you are in a slump and you are feeling like things are kind of monotonous, how do you get yourself out of that and bring that energy and passion back?
I'm no longer afraid of spending 3 days in bed. I used to like hate the idea and just be so like gung-ho all the time that when I was in creative slumps, I'd just be doing, you know, I don't know. Maybe I would be doing things, not creative things actually, but just doing anything to fill the time, just doing anything I could. But now, like, I really don't mind allowing myself to go through the process of kind of like shedding skin and then stepping back into it. That being said, I still do create even when I'm not feeling very, very good, because there is the off chance that maybe, just maybe something brilliant will come out. But I tend to know when it's coming now. So I tend to know like when something's good coming. So I'll sort of set aside time, and the first kind of couple of days of working on something, I'll just be kind of like dusting the cobwebs off, and I'll write, you know, if I'm writing music, like it'll be like 4 songs that just aren't very good. And then like the third day, something good will happen, and then I'll just focus on that. But yeah, don't beat yourself up. Like, it happens to all of us. Just like go back to your favorite shows, or like allow yourself that time to just be sad. If you're sad, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yesterday you said your favorite Taylor Swift song was Fearless.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite album?
Red is great. I mean, Red is an amazing record. What was the one where it's like one of the really early ones where her hair's all like in locks? Speak Now, is that like the very, very early one? Yeah, has it got the song Our Song on it? That's Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift, there you go. I like Our Song, I think it's great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering, are you a cat person or a dog person?
I like them both. Do you want to know a story?
Yep.
Have we got time for a quick story? So when I moved to Atlanta I have a dog, right? She lives with my mum, she's lovely, and it's Bear. But when I moved to Atlanta to make Stranger Things, I was sort of messing about in like quite a lot of like magic and whatever, like spooky shit. And I moved into the guest house of these beautiful people called Bryce and Sue at the end of their drive, and on the second day, this black cat appeared, and I called it Mittens because it had these white paws, right? It was all black and it had these white paws, and she stayed with me for 6 months throughout the duration of filming this show. And on the last day that I was leaving to go, she never turned up. So I felt like she was there to kind of like look after me in some way and kind of just protect me. So I love all animals. I couldn't choose between the two, but that's a story for you.
That's really special.
Yeah, it was amazing. I hope to see her again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, that looks so cozy.
I was wondering, what do you use for your hair?
Salt water. Salt water. that and just don't wash it. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Hi.
Hello again.
Do you mind if I give you a bit of context for this question?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm in a band. I'm the vocalist, and I was basically asked to join the band because they had no one, and I'm like the only person who could like sing. But like the thing is I have like a lot of performance anxiety when it comes to singing. It's like it's not really the same with acting because I'm like playing something else. Yeah. But
I understand.
It's very. I'm just wondering, like, has that kind of happened in your life? And,
yeah.
Yeah, and
dude, all the time.
Yeah, and how do you like? How did you overcome it?
Dude, it happens even now. It happens still. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When it comes to singing, what is it that you're afraid of?
I'm very. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I'm very. I feel like I'm making myself more vulnerable.
Great.
When I sing.
Great.
Because the way I view it, it's like I'm putting myself out there, and like I'm just not really sure how to like do it, you know?
Keep going. What you're doing, what you just described to me is like purity. That's purity. You're safe, right? Fuck anyone else. Fuck what they say, fuck what they think. Do you. Seriously, man, like your vulnerability on stage is what gives you your power. So allow it to happen. I know how scary it can be, trust me, but it's better to be terrified than it is to be hidden.
All right, thank you.
Bless you, man.
So much.
Thank you.
I mean, the definition of bravery is being scared of something and doing it anyway. So there's two questions I have to finish with. One I'm contractually obligated to ask.
Oh no.
The other one is this personal. Where'd you get your boots?
These boots. I bought up these boots about 8 years ago, and the same pair, and I wore them on stage, and they went to shit, and so I really wanted them again. I had to get them secondhand from a website called Vestia, and it's taken me probably 4 years to find them again. So yeah, there you go.
Great, just like your song.
Hard to find.
Helpful. And the last one that I have to ask, well, I guess this is this. Now, obviously, a lot of the characters that you've played or movies you've been in have had some sort of supernatural power. But if you lived in a world where no one had superpowers, but they had mundane powers, what would your mundane superpower be? So you can't be like flight or super speed or invincibility or, you know, the ability to turn people inside out like a clock. Sorry, left hand. But for example, my mundane superpower is the ability to find a vacant car park in front of whatever building I need to get into. It could be the ability to, no matter where the gas gauge is in the car when you park, it's near at a quarter, it's always full. My favourite at the moment has been the ability to take cheese and turn it into a different kind of cheese.
That's great.
What would your mundane superpower be, Jamie?
There's a few. I think the ability to make the bed well enough that my girlfriend doesn't go, oh God, come on.
Like snap your fingers and it's at just quality.
It's just perfect. Yeah, exactly. For the washing up to just do itself, just you know, it just does itself because I don't love stacking the dishwasher when I stack it. To be able to stack the dishwasher well, that would be a good superpower. And is there one last one? Do you know what Michael Sheen told me once? And this is sort of like, it's just a mundane superpower. It's not mundane enough. He said he'd like the ability to appear 3 centimeters to the right of wherever he was, so that if somebody like tried to stab him or like went to shake his hand, they would miss. So I'll take that one too.
Did you point out to me that 3 centimeters probably isn't that much of a distance? I mean, if I'm shooting at the centre mass and you move 3 centimeters to the right, I'm going to hit you in the heart.
Yeah, no, I didn't, but maybe I should let him know that there's a flaw in his logic.
Yeah, and I mean, all I do is miss your hand and hit you in the stomach.
Yeah. Or if it was the other side.
I think he just wants to be touched differently.
Don't we all?
And speaking of that, it is time to say farewell to our international thirst trap. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. You've been an absolute delight to have here. Hopefully we can have you back here on New Zealand shores at some time in the future. Tauranga, Jamie Campbell,
Thank you so much. Enjoy your day, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. Take care.
And sadly, Tauranga, that's all that I'm here for as well. It's been a pleasure as always, and I'm sure Armageddon in some form will be back again next year. But don't go anywhere if you're interested in, well, there you go, the experience, the incredible. We have some K-pop.